All right, here we're going to focus on objectives 323 and 324, which are the match and the index functions. And I'll go ahead and tell you these are very similar to VLOOKUP, and hardcore Excel users, quite frankly, they'll treat VLOOKUP like a red-headed stepchild when it compares to index match, because index match is a whole lot more flexible. Now, the thing is, in looking ahead to the next version of the exam for 2019 or 365, VLOOKUP and index match really are being replaced by a new function called XLOOKUP, which is supposed to be even more flexible and easier to understand. But in looking at the objectives for that future exam, which is already out, I don't see XLOOKUP on there. So index match is still on the 2019 and 365 videos, or the test, I should say, and it's on the 2016 version of the expert exam. So I want to go ahead and cover that here. And the textbook I'm using for this really only dedicates one simple page or one simple use or instance, that's the word I'm looking for, of the index match. They don't spend enough time on it, and I really think that this is something that would need multiple practice sessions on. So anyway, let me just go ahead and get started. We've got this table here, and I guess you can imagine this is from a clothing company, and it shows the different types of items that they provide, and you've got an item code and then an item. Now, first of all, you have to imagine that this table is much, much bigger than the one we're actually working with. And the big difference between VLOOKUP is that in a VLOOKUP function, the lookup value that you're looking for must be in the first column, or as it is to HLOOKUP, it must be in the first row. The lookup value must be in the first column for VLOOKUP, and it must be in the first row for HLOOKUP. And also that first row or column has to be in ascending order. With index match, it does not have to be in ascending order. As you see here, what's in rows 2, 3, and 4, none of these are in ascending order. Now, would it be easier to possibly, before you're working with your data, just go ahead and sort the data in ascending order, whether it be vertically or horizontally? Well, it may be, but ultimately, if you're going to use index match, it doesn't matter. So here what we're going to do is, let's say we wanted to find we wanted to return the value for the sweater right here. And I'm actually going to start with the match function, because index match it's pretty much always, I don't say always, it's frequently used in conjunction with each other, and the match function is nested inside the index function. So what I want to do first is I want to take the match portion of this function, and I'm going to do that here first. And this is the way that I would do it. This is the way that works best for me, and with more practice you could probably get so that to the point that you would just be able to type this in. So all functions start with equals, and I want to type in match, and I want to double click that, and actually I want to click the function arguments button to open up the function arguments dialog box. And the lookup value that we're looking for here, we are looking for the contents of what's in cell A6. So we want to get a match to whatever is in this particular cell, and we are looking for the array that we're looking in is going to be in cells B2 through B4. And the match type that we're looking for, if you click down here, notice it says returns the relative position of an item in an array. Well, that's for the whole match function, but down here the match type says is a number 1, 0, or -1, indicating which value to return. We want to return the value that is directly on the same either row or column, whatever the case may be. And in this case, because we're looking for an array that's going down, we want to return whatever's on the same line. We don't want it to look at the row above or below. So you put in a 0 right here. So we want to return an exact match to that. And when I click OK, notice here that you get 2. And what that does is it shows you that this is actually the sweater is actually in the second position of that array. All right, so the next thing that you would want to do for an index match is to come down here and go to the formula bar and cut everything except the equal sign. And I'm going to do Control X on my keyboard, and then I'm going to start putting in index. And I'm going to click the function arguments button, and we're using this first one, an array, row, a number column, and a number. All right, so the array we're looking for here, now we're actually looking in the first column. So we're looking in A2 through A4 because we want to return, we want to find out what's in the first, in this particular table. We want to find the information that matches sweater, and whatever's next to it, we want to pull that down into this spreadsheet. So we select that, so that's our array. The row number, this is where you paste what you copied previously. So I want to do Control V to paste, and you see how you get a match, and you see the number 2 down here, and then the column number, there is no column number in this particular case. Notice how it says column number right here. That is not in bold, meaning that is not required. And again, notice down here it says if omitted, the row number is required. So you're looking at the row number, so you're returning, and remember this is row 2. So we are returning whatever is in the second row based upon, and we're looking in A2 to A4. So when you click OK, you see that you get SW050, which is the item code for a sweater. And I had previously tested this to make sure it works. That's why you see it out here. And anyway, you have to imagine that this is a much bigger table. And if needed, I would recommend, well, it's recommended. I would find other tables and just make up scenarios where you would use index match to get enough practice at it. And if you need those scenarios, I've got a few, just please let me know, and those can be provided to you, or I'm sure you could find some online in other videos and whatnot. So that's it for index match, and that is 2 separate objectives on the exam, and I'm going to promise you, you're going to see those on the exam. So if you have further questions, please ask.